and Jessica to input their reasons for joining us today. So I'm just going to quickly read Elvis' message. So he says, "Good morning. My reasons for joining in today's program. I love education and love having knowledge of new things and learning new things every day. Like Wave always tells us, we learn unlearn, and relearn. And it would also like to learn how you can update and upgrade his CV." All right, awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, Elvis, for that. So last month we also had a session to on CV writing. I don't know if you joined or not, but it was quite impactful because we do this on a monthly basis, and we discuss on different topics that are, let me say, in trend now on how to help people grow, how to help people become more productive. So thank you very much, Elvis, for that. If there's anyone that wants to tell us the reason why they joined today's session, and then something that you want to take home from today's session. So if you could just put in your why for joining today's session, and then one thing you want to learn today. I don't want to start calling us, so I don't want to call on our names. So once again, for those who are just joining us, my name is Mfon. I work in the career support department at Wave, and I'll be your host for today's session. Apologies, the weather here is a bit, it's very dark. So even if I turn on my camera, you might not see me. That's why my camera is turned off. But please, I would like to know those in the room with me. All right, Jessica says, "Good morning. My reason for joining today's program is she would love to learn new things because education is really great, and there's nothing you learn that doesn't go to waste, or there's nothing you learn that goes to waste." Awesome. I like that kind of a mindset and notion. Thank you very much, Jessica. I'm still waiting for the rest of us, and I see that a few of us haven't been able to connect, and we have our guests in the house. I'm just going to put in how we can connect our devices because I see that some of us haven't been able to. Right. I'm still waiting for some of our responses. So why did you decide to join today's session, and what is one thing you aim to learn? Jessica and Elvis has responded already. But it would be great if I get more responses in the chat box while we wait for others to join. Hi, Tolani, good morning.
Good morning, I'm Fawn. Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Good to have you on here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. So you'll be able to share your screen in a couple of seconds.
All right, that's fine.
And Tolani, for more context, we are actually live on YouTube. So there are a lot more people that would see this.
Okay, just put me on.
I see that a couple of us haven't been able to turn on our mics, so I'll just put in directions for that. And then Tolani, my colleague, would make you co-host just so that you'll be able to share your screen.
All right, that's fine. Thank you, Mfon.
Thank you.
Please, I'm not in the conversation because I'm not getting to hear whatsoever is going on.
Hi, Patrick. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. We're just waiting for our facilitator to have access so she can share a screen and then note comments.
Okay.
But Patrick, so just give me more context. Tell me your why for joining today's session. Why did you decide to join today's session? And what do you want to learn from today's session?
I want to learn a lot of stuff. Actually, this is my first time. I'm not that type of internet stuff. So I think I will find it very interesting, to be honest.
Okay.
So
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
okay.
If you don't mind, you can maybe mute your mic now.
Okay.
All right, fun. So while the co-host access is being granted, about how many people do we have on YouTube currently?
Okay, so let me get that information from him as well.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, please, can we mute our mic if we're not speaking? Godwin. Okay. Hi, Godwin, please mute your mic. Hi, Kingsley, can you hear me? If you can, please just make Tolani co-host. Okay, you have, and then also make me co-host as well so that I can mute those people that just come off mute. So I see Aziz comments in the chat box. Aziz says he loves storytelling, but he's not so good at it. So the purpose of joining today's session is to learn from the facilitator on how to gain. He used our topic back for us. So he said to gain visibility for his business through storytelling. Thank you very much, Aziz, for that. Okay, Tolani, you have the co-host right now, so you can. Hi, Tolani, can you hear me? Okay, awesome.
Yes, I can. I'm trying to share my screen.
All right.
I was trying to share my screen. So I see somebody's hand up, Solomon. Solomon, do you want to speak before we start? Mfon, do you want to take that, please?
All right. Hi, Solomon, can you hear me?
Thank you.
Hi, Solomon, can you hear me? If you are speaking, you're on mute, or I can't hear you. So maybe Solomon, maybe you want to type in the chat box what you want to say. That would be super helpful. Then Tolani, I couldn't get your bio, so maybe you could do a brief introduction on yourself. That would be really helpful, just so that they can feel you. Since they are saying they all want to learn from you, I believe that would be super helpful.
All right, that's fine.
Thank you.
So can I just roll?
Please.
Is that my go ahead?
Please, you can start.
All right, thank you very much. You didn't get back to me on the number of people that we have on YouTube. So it's fine. As we go on, you can just drop that for me once you get it. So I can just carry the class along. All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for having me at this session, Wave Academy, and to every individual person who has joined this session this morning. I mean, I'm really excited about everything that we're going to be learning and everything that we're going to be sharing together and what it basically means to just gain visibility for your business through storytelling. I mean, I like what Aziz said, and I like what Mfon said. I gave us back our topic, but by the time we're done with this session, I hope you see that it's not just a string of words, gaining visibility for your business, visibility, storytelling, all of that, just find fancy words that have been put together. You see that these things are actually very realistic, they're very practical, and they are things that can, help you grow your business. So my name is Omotolani Akisoya, and currently I'm an engagement and communications officer, as well as storyteller at Sterling Bank, which means that I help people bring their brand to life through storytelling. And when I say brand, I mean their business brands, their personal brands, whatever it is. I just help people through different kind of content, copy, running campaigns for different audiences to just make their brands more personable, more relatable to the target audience or to the particular set of people that they are trying to reach, that they are trying to sell their business to, that are trying to raise awareness to, that are trying to, just bring on board in terms of the solution that they are selling. And when I asked Mfon prior to this session, she said that everybody here is a business owner or is looking to become a business owner in the future for people who aren't. So I'll just like two people before we go on to tell me what kind of business that they run, what they do, and what they understand by storytelling. No matter how basic it is, no matter how little it is, your understanding of storytelling is, I want to hear it, because I feel like everybody must have heard this thing and they must have practiced it maybe in some way, one another. And I just want to hear how far you have gone or what efforts that you have put in place for your business, where storytelling is concerned. So any two people who will just take the lead. I don't want to have to call names. I don't want to have to appoint people. So anybody wants to dive right in? Godwin, your mic is unmuted. Do you want to say something? Oh, he muted his mic. Anybody wants to go? Solomon is smiling. Solomon, I feel like Solomon is you I want to hear from. I mean, you've had your hand raised for very long anyways. So your mic is muted. I can see you speaking, but I can't hear you because your mic is muted. Solomon, we still can't hear you. Is it just me? Can anybody else hear him?
We cannot hear him.
All right, Kinong, I want to hear from you. I could hear you, so you just write that you. Don't worry, this is not an attempt to set you up and all. I just really want to know what your business is about and what you understand by storytelling, no matter how basic it is.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kino Oguni. So I'm a photo editor, and I'm also a laundry man. But in terms of this storytelling, I think it should be something about you letting the world know. It be about you letting the world know that you have some businesses at hand, and you want them to patronize you. That is just like an advertisement to the world.
All right, thank you very much, Kinong. I mean, you have the very basic idea of it, and I'm very happy with what I've heard from you. I mean, and I'm glad to know what you do in terms of your photo editing business and laundry. So anybody else wants to go? Chidebere Elvis. Chidebere Elvis. You are the one on my screen, so that's why it's very easy for me to call your name. Very quickly so that we can, run along. We have quite a spread for today's class. Chidebere, let's go. I can see you smiling, so just unmute and speak. Come on, nobody is judging you. Nobody is It's your business. There are no right or wrong answers. I mean, you're just going to say what you do and then what you understand by storytelling. So,
Okay, good morning. Can you
good
hear
morning.
me?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much for
Okay,
opting
my
to
name is
speak.
Chidebra Elvis. I'm a copper. I studied engineering, and after my service, I would like to go into contracting and consultation consultants. Like to be a consultant in engineering and also a contractor. What I understand by storytelling is telling people about your business, what you do, advertising your job and your handwork or your skills, whatever you do. That is, for me, that's what I understand by storytelling.
Thank you very much, Chidebere. And to think that you didn't want to speak at first, I mean, that's very apt, actually. Thank you very much, for sharing. So in moving on, I'm just going to set a foundation. I'm sure that when I said I'm a storyteller and I work with a bank as a storyteller, some people might be wondering that, so this storytelling thing is actually for some particular set of people, maybe people that are experts, people that have learned it so much, or people that are so good at it, or people that are just gained some level of experience, where storytelling is concerned. But I would like to let you know today that that is a myth. It is a myth and it is not true. Storytelling is for everybody. Everybody is a storyteller, whether you like it or not, whether you have been able to harness that part of you or not, whether you have been able to maximize that part of you or not. It is just right to know here and now that every single person, you and I, are storytellers. Why? Because all of our lives moments, every single part of life, every journey in life, everything that has to do with our daily interactions with people is a story that is waiting to happen. Every single moment, every single day is a story that is waiting to happen. There are just some people who have been able to, take that thing and then harness it to work for them. And then I'll say that there are different paths to storytelling, very, very many different paths to storytelling. I mean, you meet some people who are photographers and they'll tell you they are storytellers. Did they lie? No. Why? Because they capture stories in visual form. Then you meet people who are movie makers and they tell you they are storytellers as well. Did they lie? No, because they take you on a journey through whatever movie it is they are doing, the plot, the twist and all of that to just spark something in you. Then you find some other people who are book writers, they tell you they are storytellers. Did they lie? No, because they also, take you through a journey with whatever they write in their books, whatever kind of book it is. And then there are business owners as well who also tell you they are storytellers, that they tell stories for their business or for other people's businesses, which is why I fall under. Did I lie? No, because I believe that every single aspect of life is a story that is waiting to happen. And it is just how you are able to position, how you are able to, make it work, how you are able to arrange it very well and then present it to people that tells whether you are a good storyteller or otherwise. But then the foundation here and now today is that everybody is a storyteller. So moving on to my next slide, these are the things that we are going to be, looking at together as we go. Sorry, my slide is hanging. All right, so this is our agenda for today. And we're going to be looking at introduction to storytelling. What is storytelling? Who is a storyteller and why do we tell stories? And then you get to see how and where to tell your business stories. So the kind of storytelling that we are focusing on today is the one for businesses, because the people here, are business owners or prospective business owners. And I'm sure that you want to be able to, put your business out there. You want to be able to show the world what your business is all about. You want to be able to, gain more customers for yourself, beyond what you already have. Even if you already have 100 constant customers to patronize you. You can have one spot, and even outside of Nigeria, there are no limits to how much that you can gain, where your story is concerned. I'm going to look at story samples together. So I want us to look at some brands that have been able to harness storytelling, that have been able to, maximize it to gain visibility for themselves, to make people see them so well that, they're just top of mind when you think about them. Not because their brand is specifically different from what other people's brands are. I mean, so many competitors out there, but these people are standing out simply because they have been able to harness the power of storytelling to, fit the purpose of what they're trying to communicate per time. And then we're going to have question and answer session. So I'm a firm believer in not waiting till the end of the session for us to have questions and answers. So if during the course of the class you have any questions for me, you can just drop it in the chat box. I'm counting on Umfon or somebody from Wave to just call my attention to it. Or you can raise your hand if you'd like to unmute your mic to ask your questions. We're going to make this as interactive as possible. And then there are going to be activities during the course of the class as well. So just get ready for it. And like I said, I'm very delighted at what we'll be learning and sharing together today. So what's a storytelling class without a story, right? So I'm just going to start with a story, a business story that I think should, be able to resonate with everybody. So I remember growing up when I was really young, I used to see, I went to OK schools, the kind of schools that I went to for my primary and secondary. So when I say young, I'm talking about when I was in primary and secondary school. I went to OK schools in the sense of it. They were average based on, proximity to them and so many other reasons why I had to go. But then I used to watch the TV and read magazines. And then I would see some schools, with the way that they positioned themselves, with the way that they positioned their students, students in laboratories, students learning how to play the violin, students in an orchestra, or students traveling to Dubai for practical sessions or for excursions or for, different things. In my mind, I used to feel like, my God, these schools are the best thing to ever happen to mankind. Why am I not in this kind of school and all of that? If there's anybody here who ever saw those kind of magazines and all of, I can name those schools. And these are schools that have been in existence since I was in primary school, since I was in secondary school. And to be very honest, because of the way that they told their stories, because of the way that they positioned their schools, to appeal to the audience, even though I was young then, even though I didn't have children then, I always say that when I grow up, that these are the schools I'm going to take my children to. I didn't even care if any other school was going to come afterwards. I didn't care about the schools that I went to and all of that. But then these schools were able to sell the story of what their institution was all about, what they were doing for students, how they were taking students from, just regular people to becoming more excellent in the society and all of that, the kind of exposure that they give to their students and all. And it just resonated with me. And I can name some of them. There's Corona, there's Grinch, there's Vivian Fowler. Till now, I still remember the pictures of how the students used to dress in those adverts that I saw, those magazine images that I saw, those stories that I just saw or that I was exposed to about their schools. And this goes to show the very powerful, the power of storytelling in the sense of it. They're not the only schools that are existent. If you look at all of us here, we all went to school, but if you mention your school, chances are that I will not know it. Chances are very high that I will not know it, especially because if it's a village school or something that is just very average. If I mention the school that I went to as well, chances are that you will not know it. But then if I mention Corona, I'm sure, if not everybody here, about 70% of people in this class should know Corona. Another 70% should know Grange, Vivian Fowler, and all those kind of big schools. Those are schools that were able to gain visibility for their business because they were able to harness the power of storytelling. And storytelling is as old as man. It didn't just evolve. So that's why I'm usually very surprised when people say they don't know the power of it or they don't know storytelling that much. And I'm like, every single day you are interacting with one form of story or the other. We have always been interacting with it since we were young. All of the fables that parents told you, all of the things that you read in books, all of the things that you learned in school. Some of our best teachers in school were the ones that used to tell us stories when they were teaching us and all of that. It's just that storytelling has evolved over time because of trends and, of course, digitization, technology, and all of that. But at the core of it, storytelling is something that is very powerful when it comes to communication, when it comes to putting yourself or your brand out there, when it comes to just making people know you for what you do, what you stand for, especially when you want to be long-lasting. Which now takes me to my introduction. So what is storytelling? What is business storytelling? Business storytelling is the process of telling a story rather than listing facts when communicating with current or potential customers. Every random person could just, for example, the person that said is a photo editor, every random person could just, know that your business, you edit photos, but is that it? You just listed a fact. But then with storytelling, you take your customers through a journey. Storytelling, when you list facts, you just say what. But with storytelling, you say what, you say why, you say where, you say for who, you take people through a very robust, a very complete journey where people, are very, very willing. Somebody's writing on my slides. Michael, Emmanuel, you're writing on my slides. It's fine. Just maybe please don't move your hand through the slides. I can see some yellow marks that have come up, my slides. Thank you very much. So it's the act of taking people through a journey rather than just listing facts and saying this is what I do. I mean, any random person can just come and say this is what I do. And there are so many people that probably do what you do as well. So why should people buy from you instead? Why should people listen to you instead? Why should it be you instead? And that is where the power of storytelling comes in. And I put it here, the image I put here, it's very apt. Storytelling is not just about telling the stories, because at the end of the day, you're a business, you want to make profits. I mean, I don't think there's any business here or any businessman who's not interested in making profits from whatever business he's doing. So in the process of telling stories, you are also selling your business. I mean, that is the end goal, that is the end aim, to evoke emotions in people, to tell people why they need to patronize you, so that at the end of the day, they are taking an action to actually buy from you. You have sold. So instead of saying just come and I sell books, come and buy from me, you are able to take them through a journey of why they need to buy books, why books are good for them, why they need to buy your own books, and what they stand to gain after they buy it, 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, and all of that. If I just tell people to come and buy books, but there's somebody else who is able to put so much value into his message to tell people why they need to buy the books, what they stand to gain when they buy the books, what happens in the future after they have bought his books rather, that kind of person most likely will get more customers because he has given them more value through a story rather than just saying, come and buy books from me. So that's what business storytelling is. Then I'm going to the next one. Who is a storyteller, or who is a business storyteller? And this goes back to what I said at the beginning, that every single person is a storyteller. And that's why I put it here. The first word, you have a unique story to tell with your life, with your journey, with your business, with everything that you are doing. You have a unique story to tell. The fact that several people are doing the same thing that you do, or several people are selling the same thing that you sell, is not enough reason to deter you from not doing the business or telling the stories about the business in the way that is unique to you, because there is a way that you will say it that will be different from the way another person will say it. For example, there are so many telecommunications companies in Nigeria. We have Nine Mobile, we have Airtel, we have MTN, and all of that. There are even some ones that are just for Wi-Fi devices, and do all of them have their market share? Yes. Do all of them have their customers? Yes. Why? Because they have been able to tell their stories to their target audience in a way that appeals to that particular target audience, and they are telling those stories in a way that another brand has not been able to tell to that particular target audience to convert them. So, for example, I use MTN. I see a lot of other adverts from other brands, but because MTN resonates with me so much, I like their story, I like what they stand for and how they sell to me. I have not moved from MTN since I can remember. And I know some other people here who probably have never owned an MTN line because, they just have an affinity with the way another business has been able to sell their own story to them. So everybody has a unique story. Every business has a unique story. Even if you are selling shoes and you are selling shoes that your competitors, the exact kind of shoes that your competitors are selling, the way you will sell your story about those shoes to your audience will still be different, or should still be different from the way that your competitor will sell it, in a way that, people want to come to you. People want to come to you. For example, if I'm selling shoes, my own story around my shoes can be that my shoes are very affordable. That when you come, you will most likely get something within your pocket budget. That is my own story, and that is something I'm going to stick with. Another person can say, their own kind of shoes, it's shoes that you never find in another place, that their shoes are very exclusive. That's their own story, and that's something they're going to stick with. Some people will buy into the exclusivity of my competitor's story, while some people will buy into the affordability of my own story. Some people's shoe selling business story can be that it's durability. Like if you buy this shoe today, you won't buy another one for another 10 years. There are some people who are not looking for affordability, they're not looking for exclusivity, but they're looking for durability. People like that would rather go to the person who is selling durable shoes for them. Why? Because the person has been able to tell a story that connects with them, that relates with what the particular target audience is looking for. So the very essence of storytelling, of you being a good storyteller, is being able to tell a different story from others, being able to find your own unique selling points, being able to find what makes you stand out as a business owner, and then as a business owner rather, and then wrapping your story around that particular thing. So you have a unique story to tell once again. And the fact that other people are doing what you do, other people are telling stories around your same business, should not deter you from, telling your stories. Why should you tell stories? And the image that I put here is he explains it once and for all. Storytelling is the best marketing. It is the best form of marketing. I mean, years and years of research and findings and surveys and all have just shown that people are most likely to patronize a business that relates with them or relates with their story through the story that the business is selling. So, for example, if I want to buy something and somebody is selling a story to me, if the person is able to evoke my emotions, just trigger a memory in me, or trigger a feeling in me, trigger an emotion in me, I would rather go to that person to buy, because that person has been able to, relate what they are selling with what I'm going through at a particular time. So, for example, if I want to buy a book now, I'm a lover of fiction. I really love to read fictional book. And then somebody comes to me and, just tells me, buy this book. It is a fictional book. And then another person comes and says, Tolani, do you know that this book is a book that every high-performing CEO must read before they are 30, because it just details, the plans and their journey through how. Please mute your microphones. Thank you. So the person is telling me, it details how every CEO, should walk through life, should collaborate, should interact before they are 30. And once they are able to read this book, they are able to know the things that they're supposed to know. They're able to know the things that they're supposed to do. And once they are 30, if they're not yet a CEO, they'll most likely be on the journey to being a CEO. I mean, that person has evoked something in me. Do I want to become a CEO one day? Maybe. But then that person has just shown me that high-performing people read this particular kind of books. I'll most likely go towards that kind of person and buy the book from them, simply because that person has, related it to something that is very strong in my heart, rather than somebody that just said, buy a book. Why should I buy the book? Except maybe I wake up one day and it's in my interest, I just feel like reading that particular book. That's only when I'll buy from the person that said, buy this book. But if they're just coming to sell to me, like random selling, and somebody says, buy this book, and that person gives me, please mute your microphones. Thank you. And somebody else gives me 5 million reasons why I should buy the book and what that book can do for me. I mean, I'd rather go through that person to buy whatever it is that they are selling. So storytelling is the best form of marketing, whether you like it or not. It helps your business to be memorable. It helps your business to be memorable. And it goes back again to the story that I shared at the beginning about some schools that just told their stories, in so many memorable and beautiful ways, that even though I have grown, 10 years older than I was when I first saw their stories or their adverts, I am still tied, I still have a bias, a very good bias towards their schools, that I feel like when I give birth to my children, I will take my children to those schools. As in, they are still in my mind. The names of those schools are still in my mind. They are still very memorable to me, because of the kind of stories that they told. And then they have been able to stand out, not just to me, but to so many other people as well. I know so many people that have given birth, my friends, people that I relate with, that I collaborate with, so many of them have given birth, and the schools they take their children to are this particular kind of schools that I mentioned at the beginning. Why? Because those schools left a sort of, imprint, a sort of implant in their minds through the stories that they tell. So your story is supposed to leave an imprint or an implant in the minds of people when they come, when they relate with it. It helps you be memorable. It helps people know you. It helps people know you with a very particular, unique selling point or unique thing that is, particular to your own business, that other businesses are not giving them, that other businesses cannot do to them. And also it evokes emotion. Storytelling evokes emotion. Usually when you read a story, I mean, even online, when you read random tweets, all these threads, people that will drop threads, 10 pages, or people that will just go on Instablog Niger and drop long captions, today head notes for people that read all those things and all of that. You'll find that most of these people tell stories, sometimes fictional, sometimes realistic stories. But then when you are done reading it, there is an emotion that just evokes in you. Sometimes you're angry, as in you are angry on behalf of the person whose story you just read. Other times you are happy, other times you feel joy, other times you feel nostalgia, like it takes you back and down memory lane. Other times it just makes you, makes you feel warm on the inside. It just makes you happy. So your story is supposed to evoke a form of emotion, with the people that interact with it, that drives them to action. So after all is said and done, after all your story is told, after you've gained the visibility and memorability from people, the bottom line at the end of everything is for people to take action on the particular story that you have shared, or for people to do something where your business is concerned with the story that you have shared. I'm going to tell you how, to tie your stories into call to actions and all of that as we go on. But then these are the things that storytelling can do for you. It can help you be memorable. It can help you be visible for more people to see you. And it can, drive people to action. People like to be taken on journeys. People like to be, they always say that people's attention spans are low these days. And I don't think I really agree. Why? Because people's attention spans are not low. I think their attention spans are shifting. They are shifting to things that they find, interactive, things that they find interesting. So it's now up to you to decide, will your own business stories be one of the things that people's attention spans are shifting to these days? Will your own business stories be one of the things that are catching people's attentions? Because if something is very long, no matter how long it is, if it is interesting, I mean, recently I still completed a 200 and something page book, even with the fact that I have a full-time job and other things I'm doing by the side. Why? Because the book resonated with me and I liked it. I might not read every book in the market, but that particular book, I completed it. So people would read your stories, people will consume your content if they find that it is evoking something in them, it is interesting, it is something that they want to relate with, and most likely it will drive them to action. So one thing I want to clear again is when I say storytelling, some people might be thinking that has to be something long or something lengthy or something that you have to put so much hard work into. Do you have to be strategic about it? Yes, but a lot of times some of the best stories are not even that long in the sense of it. They're not even that earth-shattering in the end of it, I have to write 4 slides, this one, to tell my stories to people. Not exactly. Something short, something simple, something interesting and catchy will most likely resonate with people. So it's not, would there be times that you need to write something lengthy? Yes, but it's not every time. There just needs to be a particular message that you are passing across, and then you are tying it in a very interesting way that is not just listing facts, and then you are presenting it to people in a way that relates with them, in a way that evokes an emotion, in a way that is relatable. Once you are able to do that, trust me, you have told the story. You have told the story, whether you like it or not. So I have two examples of stories here, which is why I cleared the fact that stories don't have to be so long. I mean, if you look at these 2 images that I have on the screen, the first one has 4 words, the second one maybe 6 words. Did they tell a story? Well, I'll leave you to decide. So this is an activity. I want both everybody on this call to look at the message that these 2 people are trying to pass is for you to text and drive. Please confirm that you can still hear me. One person, Solomon, quickly, can you still hear me? My network went up for a bit. All right, thank you very much. So somebody is drawing on my slides again, Florence. All right, so let's assume that the story that these two brands are trying to sell to you is for you not to text and drive. We all know texting and driving is bad. But then this is the United Nations in collaboration with one state in the US. And they just put, phone, red sign, and the road, and they said, don't text and drive. And then there's this other brand who actually put it there and said, text and drive. And they now put the name of their business or what they do beneath. Wathan Funeral Home. For people that don't know, a funeral home is a place that, arranges burial for people or that sells coffins and all of that. So looking at these two images, if you wanted to, let's say they wanted to sell the story to you or sell the brand to you, don't text and drive, the message, don't text and drive to you, which one is most likely to evoke an emotion in you? Which one is most likely that you will listen to out of these two brands? The one that says don't text and drive, or the one that says text and drive and then puts the name of a funeral home there? So anybody wants to answer, which one most likely would you want to listen to? All right, Kinong.
The one you're seeing a funeral stuff image now, because
Why?
you'll be scared of it is not only telling you not to text and drive, it's also telling you the outcome of what will happen if you text and drive, and that means you lose your life.
Thank you very much, Kinong. And it is as simple as that, which is why I said it again, that storytelling doesn't have to be very complex, full of paragraphs and all of that. Sometimes we just the right, kind of context, with the right kind of image, with the right kind of text, you will be able to evoke the kind of emotion that you want to evoke. I mean, this Rukayat, please mute your mic, please. Thank you very much. I mean, this United Nations aspect of it, that just said don't text and drive. Everybody tells us not to text and drive, like every random day. I go online, I see it. I go on the road and see it. I go everywhere. My mommy tells me to at home, like next. But when somebody else is telling you that you could literally lose your life if you text and drive, and then they put the name of their business there as a funeral home, it evokes something in you. It sparks something in you that when you think about it, you think of the outcome, you think of the end already, and then it just puts fear in the sense of it in your mind, like, if I do this thing, this is most likely to happen, so I will not do it. So these are the elements that you have to look at when your storytelling is concerned. It doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be lengthy, doesn't have to be complex, but then does it evoke an emotion, and is it unique? Those are the things that you should always be looking at. So how and where to tell your business stories? How should you tell your business stories? And where are the places that are appropriate for you to tell your business stories? Those are the things that we'll be looking at in this next session. And the aspects we'll be talking about have to do with content, copy style, materials, and the essentials, or the things that you have to put in place. Like I said, this class, I'm trying to make it as practical as possible, but it's not going to be very exhaustive. Like, storytelling is quite broad, and we can't honestly finish everything in 1 hour, 30 minutes. What I hope that this class will do to you today is to just, spark curiosity in your mind, that after you leave here, you want to go on by yourself and make researches and read books, read more, go online, courses, look at brands that tell great stories and see 1 or 2 things that you can learn from them, how you can leverage stories, and how you can just, take it out there to gain more visibility for your business. So knowing how is what I'm going to start with. Knowing how. So content is a very, very major aspect of storytelling. In fact, from everything that I've been saying, or that I know as a content person, as a communications person, content is king. I mean, if you literally go on Google now and you search content is king, you will see it there. There are a lot of research bodies, a lot of content marketing organizations have said it time and time again. And they're not just saying it for saying sake. It is because it is very true. Content is king. If you are going to tell stories to people, you have to have very solid content. Very solid, very unique, very beautiful content that people want to jump on and relate with. If you look at brands that people keep talking about, whether for good or for bad, you see that it was the content that, switched the game for them in whichever way it switched it. But content is king, and you have to be able to know the kind of content that relates with your business, how you can create those contents, and where to put the content for you to reach, the particular target audience that you're trying to reach, so that they can buy from you, or they can relate with your business, or they can even refer your business to other people, after they have bought, they have tasted and seen how good your business is. So what kind of content can you include or involve in your storytelling? There are different aspects to content. There's audio, there's visual, and there's written. Most times this content will intertwine. they would, integrate together a lot of times. But there are other times that, they can stand alone on their own to sell different messages. So my own recommendation is that depending on the kind of message you are trying to pass across per time for your business, you can, use either one or all of these three elements of content, which are audio, visual, and written. There's some things that you will do, some kind of stories you tell for your business that require just audio, and it's fine. There's some other ones that require just visual, totally fine as well. There are other ones that require just written, fine. But there are other ones that require you to, mix all three. So what are some kind of audio content? We have podcasts. There's some people that tell their stories of their businesses or their personal stories, personal brand, experiences and all of that through podcasts. And I listen to so many of them. And there are so many that I keep listening to over and over again, no matter how many kinds of, episodes that they drop. Why? Because even though I can't see their faces, even though I don't know where the location from where they're telling their business story at the particular time, they're able to catch me through the audio content that they are sharing, through the story that they are sharing at that particular time that has kept me glued for months and months again. And then there is the visual type. So visual has to do with your images, which is a sample of the one that I showed you before, and even other images that you can see on the screen currently. So where graphic design comes to play, all those things that people will design on Canva, on different places, or hire graphic designers to do, even pictures, like random pictures that photographers take, all these ones are visual because they have to do with the eyes. They have to do with, things that people are seeing in the sense of it, to consume your story and then take action afterwards. And then there's the written type. Written type are the ones that have to do with blog posts, newsletters, emails. All of those things are the ones that fall under written. So people can just sit and read, even if it's a handbook, a process manual, anything at all, are the ones that have to do with written. So like I said, there are some that will span all three. And an example of content that span all three are TikTok videos, Instagram Reels, IGTV videos, Facebook videos, and all those things. Because in a video, more often than not, you will show pictures. The pictures can be your own face or they can be creatives, montage, depending on whatever one you choose. You will also speak, or there should be music, at the background. And then some people also put subtitles or captions. I mean, if you watch a lot of TikTok videos these days, you see that people put a lot of subtitles and captions in their video content. So these are the kind of things that will span all three, your live videos, your TikTok videos, and different kind of videos, even TV ads for people that can afford it and do it for their businesses. TV ads and all those, are the type that would span all these kind of three content. But then, like I said, it is up to you to decide the one, depending on your target market and depending on the kind of thing that you're selling per time, to decide which of this content fits the message at a particular time. You don't have to do all the time. Why? Because it will wear you out, and then it will make your storytelling efforts look shabby because you don't seem to have a consistent theme that you are following. So it's good to mix and match, but then know the one that works for the particular message so that you don't miss it. Because if you're trying to tell an audio story through written, you will lose your audience. If you're trying to tell a written story through visual, chances are that you will lose your audience as well. So know what works per time for your audience. And then we have copy style. So copy is the writing that goes on, any kind of design or any kind of content that you are sharing out. The actual writing, like the actual message, is what we call the copy. So for example, in the image I shared earlier, your copy will be that thing that says don't text and drive, and for the other ones that says text and drive and then puts the name of the funeral home there. That is the copy. The actual messaging is what your copy is all about. So there are different ways that you can position your business to tell your story, in terms of copy. Some people would rather go the formal way. And when I say formal, it sounds very business-like. It is, it is just corporate and all. So depending on your brand, sometimes you might want to go the formal way. For example, I work with a bank. So a lot of times, the kind of copy that I write for the stories that I tell, they are very formal because of the kind of audience that I have, within my purview. If you read stories from Forbes as well, Forbes, Harvard Business School, Business Insider, and all those things, you find that most of their copy as well are very formal because of the kind of brand that they are, the kind of story that they are selling, and their target audience, and it works for them. But then there's also the casual copy style. So you see some other people that are very playful with their copy. They are always, banting and just playing around with the way that they tell their stories. For example, is the organization and bank that I work with, Sterling Bank. We are very casual when it comes to our external, communication, especially on Instagram. So it's not all the time we're always very serious, and all. Sometimes you just play around. Sometimes you just, put pidgin, put slangs, all this okay, and all of those things, because we feel like it resonates to some of the audiences that are on that particular platform. So you also have to find, before you can just explore options, you have to find this particular thing, this particular copy style. Will it resonate with the audience that I'm sharing it with? Will it resonate with the people that are going to read it? If you are talking to Gen Zers, if your audience are Gen Zers, for example, maybe you sell all these Nike, Jordans, just shoes, luxury sneakers, chances are that your audience will be, the later part of millennials and then Gen Zers. People like that, you can talk to them casually. Why? Because it relates with them. You can throw slangs around, you can bant with them, totally fine. But then if you're talking to baby boomers, people like maybe my mom's age, or MDs and CEOs, and you're going to go and tell them, so it's okay, maybe only a few of them would understand what it means or relate with you on that level. But if you tell them something very formal, chances are that they will understand what you are saying. And then there's some people that mix it. There's some people that makes this too. So again, it all boils down to the message you're trying to pass across per time with your story and your target audience per time. There are people that serve a mix of audiences. Again, my organization and other organizations in the kind of industry that I work with, which are banks, they serve a mix of audiences. They serve baby boomers, they serve millennials, they serve Gen Zers. So you see people like us, we always, mix our copy styles to make it formal sometimes, to make it casual per time, and then, just put it to the particular audiences that we are talking to at every point in time. So your copy style is also very important. It's something that you should, note when you're putting your stories together, because it is going to tell how people relate with your business at the end of the day. And also the materials. So where are the places that you should be telling your stories? This speaks to the where. Where are the places that you should be telling your stories? I strongly believe that as a business, every single touch point, every interaction that people have with your business, whether big or small, should tell a form of story, because you don't know where you will convert a particular customer from at every point in time. Some people, it might be through Instagram that you convert them. Some people, it might be through your newsletters. Some other people, it might be through maybe a product that somebody else bought that they saw, that, they get converted and all of that. So every single touch point, every single aspect of your business, every single material you own, all of your assets should tell your story, whether you like it or not. And then for the first one here, I put your pages. So as a business, I really, really hope that everybody here who owns a business is online and is in a place where they can be visible. Because for you to even be visible through storytelling, you have to be visible in the first place. You have to be around. You have to be where people can see you. Because if you are doing a business and you don't have a page, or you don't have a store that people can walk into, or some elements that people can just interact with, maybe you have not started, because how do you want people to find you in the sense of it? So if you are a business person here who, in the first instance, don't even own a page or a place where people can find you, I think that should be your ground zero, or where you should start from. That should be the first thing, that should be your first action point when you are leaving this page, because the number of people that you get to meet or talk to one-on-one, they are very limited compared to the number of people that you get to, interact with or be visible to if you decide to go online with your business. So where you can tell your stories, your pages, your Instagram page, your Facebook page, your Twitter page, if you own one, your LinkedIn page, across all social media platforms. See, I always recommend that, depending on your kind of business, that you have, a presence on as many platforms as possible, because some of your audiences will be somewhere that they might not be in another place. So as you're interacting with people here, you are interacting with another set of people in another place. It might not work for everybody, but it is my recommendation that in as much as possible, have a presence in many, as many as you can handle, as many as you can find your customers. I mean, don't leave money on the table. Don't just say Instagram is what everybody is doing, so that's what I will stick with. By the time you want to move on to something else, it might be too late. So have as many pages as possible. If you have not created your pages, the right time to start is now. And then your pages are some of the first places that you should be telling your stories. So for example, the bio on your page, for Instagram, that short bio, when somebody opens your page, you should tell what you do. If you're a photo editor, put it there. I'm a photo editor. Then put a short description. I help people make their pictures better so they can tell stories to their target audiences, something like that. Don't just put photo editor and leave it. Some people don't know who a photo editor is. Some people don't know what a photo editor does. Like, photo editor, is that Adobe? Are you talking about Adobe or something? No. But when you say I am a photo editor, I help people make their pictures look visually appealing in a way that it relates to everybody that can see it and all of that. They understand better. You have told the story to the particular person who is reading your bio, and they understand better at that particular point in time what your business is all about. They are able to relate, and if they have questions, they can take it up from there. Also, when you post pictures and you are writing captions, write. I don't like when somebody posts a picture on Instagram and there are no captions to it. If it's just a personal picture, you want to show how fine your face is, then that's fine. But if you're a business person and you drop a post and then there are no captions to go with it, I mean, what are we supposed to do with the post? What are you trying to say exactly? Except maybe the post already tells the story itself, is fine. But even in the caption, a one-liner won't be bad. Like, what do you want me to do with this post now? What is it supposed to evoke in me? So those places are very important. Your bio, your caption, your highlights, your stories, Instagram highlights. Those things are very, very, very important for telling your stories on your pages. They're the places where you find people to interact, people who interact with. And your stories don't always have to be you talking. Sometimes it can be you asking a question. I mean, I follow Zikoko Mag. I don't know how many people know Zikoko here, but those people tell so many beautiful stories that I always just go back every day to go and read what's new, on their page. And sometimes they're just asking a question. But even with the way the question is positioned, it takes me down memory lane, or evokes a feeling of happiness in me, or whatever it is that they want to evoke at that particular point in time. So your stories don't always have to be paragraphs. Sometimes a question would work. Sometimes just, pose it in a very different way. I see people that dance on their pages and all of that. I always feel like I'm not a very good dancer, so maybe I won't do dance videos and all. But there are so many other ways that you can tell your stories in visually appealing way that will sell to the people that you want to meet. If you are somebody who doesn't do pages, maybe you're a newsletter kind of person as well, and you send to people's emails, let your newsletters also tell stories. Let your newsletter tell stories. If it's by word of mouth too, tell stories with it. See, there's this thing that they call elevator pitch for individuals. Career individuals are always advised to have an elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is something that when you meet somebody in 30 seconds, you can tell them what you do, and they're able to know if they want to work with you or not. For your business, you should have an elevator pitch as well. You should have an elevator pitch for your business. It's part of your stories. So if you meet somebody one-on-one and they ask you, what do you do with your business? You're not thinking too much about it. You're not confused. You're able to just roll on. I am this, I do this, and I serve this person, this particular person, to be able to achieve this. Those are the kind of things. Who do you serve? Why do you serve them? What do you want them to be able to achieve with your service? And what feeling do you want to live, in the long run after they have interacted with your service? Those are the kind of things that your story should tell, whether you're telling it, digitally, or you're telling it by word of mouth. Also, your assets, your brand assets should tell stories. Maybe depending on the kind of size of business that you are, maybe you might not have brand assets, but I feel like it is very good for you, no matter where you're starting from. These are the things that you should be building from the foundation. For example, your business card doesn't have to be regular. It doesn't have to be. I've seen some business cards that, blew my mind. they didn't just say their name and what they do. You know, they put very nice things around it, and nice in terms of visuals, in terms of copy. That I'm like, even on this small card, see how you designed it so beautifully. And even if you don't have all the money in the world, there are so many tools that you can use to design all these things to infuse stories for your brand assets. For example, Canva is a very good part of Canva is free. Canva app. You can go on Canva and design a business card. You can design a logo in a very beautiful way. You can design, you know, something that can be printed on your nylons. So if you are somebody who sells products, the nylons that you use to sell, the packaging bags, the carry bags, are also things that should tell stories. So it tells the name of your business and it tells a tagline, making you beautiful all day. For example, if you sell clothes and your tagline is making you beautiful all day, those are just how many words? Making you beautiful all day. That's like 5 words, but it has told me a story of what your business does. I mean, if I see that kind of nylon with my friend, I may want to, you know, be curious, like, yo, where did you buy this thing? I'm interested. Actually, the product is now nice. Like, I'm interested because they have sold something to me. I want to be beautiful all day. I want to be beautiful every day. So when I see that kind of story on somebody's brand asset, you know, it just spurs an emotion in me that makes me want to buy from that particular business or that particular person. So all of your assets, your tagline, your carry bags, your business cards, your logo, your creatives, everything should tell stories. Everything should tell stories. Find one way or the other to just weave a story into it, so that when somebody is interacting with it, it is, you know, just triggering something in their mind that makes them want to act towards what you are selling or what you are doing at that particular time. Also, it speaks of excellence. Whether you like it or not, it speaks of excellence. And then your products as well. So the particular things that you are doing or the particular things that you are selling, which brings me back again to the excellence that I mentioned. If you do your business and you do it very well, if you are somebody who delivers 100% all the time, without saying much, you have already told the story. You have already told your business story to the person who is receiving, you know, your service on the other end. So for example, I know some people that if I want a very good graphics design created, I know who to go to. Why? Because their business time and again has delivered excellence. It has told the story of excellence to me. That in fact, I'll be the one even opening my mouth to tell other people that this particular person, you know, if you patronize their business, you will get this and this and that and that and that and that. So your products also have a place in telling stories. Because, for example, I've also had situations where I will see somebody's Instagram page and they are able to tell very nice stories. But at the end of the day, when I buy their product is telling a very different story. And that's why you start having cases of what I ordered versus what I got. So you see something on their page, it's so nice. They tell the stories, they put it together. Everything is looking very beautiful. The packaging nice. You know, they have evoked something in you. I've bought hair wig with my last card before because these people just told very nice stories on their page, and I bought the wig, and then the wig came and I saw goat hair. I mean, the story they told on their page and the story their business is telling are actually two very different stories. For somebody like that, if I want to tell the story of their business to another person, I will tell the story of their products more than I'll tell the story of what I saw on their page, because that's what I experienced. So in as much as possible, let every part of your business, every touch point, let it be consistent. Let it be consistent with excellence, so that if somebody meets you via your page, you know, you are memorable. If they meet you via your assets, you are memorable. If they meet you via your product, you are memorable. Every single aspect of your business should tell a story, should tell a good story, and should tell a very unique story that causes people to buy from you and come back to buy from you, and even refer you to other people to come and buy from you, you know, in the sense of it. So sorry, I see that the chat section is growing. It's growing. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I will take, you know, all of that. I'll go to the chat section, you know, once we are done with the session. Again, if you have a question and you want to speak up, you can just unmute your mic or raise your hand, and I trust Mfon to, you know, help me out to bring you on board so you can ask the question that you want to ask. So lastly, what are the other places or the other where you should tell your business story? Your marketing materials. It is very important for your marketing materials to also tell your stories. So your marketing materials are just the things that put your business in front of your target audience, that communicate your business to the people that you want it communicated to. So for example, again, your pages are part of your marketing materials, your ads are part of your marketing materials, your newsletters are part of your marketing materials, your carry bags are part of your marketing materials, your what's the name? Your tagline is part of it, your business card is part of it. You know, every single thing that ties to your business is part of your marketing material and should tell your story. I mean, I've seen cases where I bought things from people and then they just put a very nice note. Dear Tolani, thank you very much for buying from us. Did you know that with the fact that you've bought from us, you have also fed 2 children on the streets, because 10% of our profit goes to charity and blah, 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 blah. Those kind of things, when I read it, it makes me very happy, because although all I did was buy from a business, but then they tied their story to something bigger, something that I've always wanted to do, which is give to charity. So when I remember that kind of business gives to charity and they've let me know through their story, if I want to buy that particular thing, I will go to that person again. Why? Because their marketing material has communicated something beautiful to me at that particular time. So with every chance that you get, your website, every single thing, let your touch points, let your materials, let them tell a story, your story. So what are the essentials for, a good story or for telling a story? Number one, set your parameters. Your parameters are your action points or your checklist for the story that you want to tell. So who is your target audience? It's part of your parameters. Not everybody is your target audience, and I want people to always know that. Not everybody is your target audience. So it's always very good for you to know your target audience. What age range do they fall under? What is their gender? What is their career type? When are they always online? What are the things that they do and all of that? How do they like to be engaged? What kind of stories do they like to hear? What kind of copy style do they like to see? What are the content types that appeal to them? When you set all of these things, it helps you better to weave your story together in a beautiful way that will appeal to your target audience and then lead to the outcome that you are looking forward to. Also, it is important to be very, very authentic. Very, very authentic with your story. Let your story be true. Like I said, it doesn't have to be complex or complicated, but at the end of the day, let it be true and let it be relatable. And there are sometimes that you also put up fiction. So for example, you put a make-believe character to tell your story. There are still ways that you should tie authenticity even into fiction. But the part that people always miss it is where you say you are selling, for example, I'm saying hair because I buy hairs a lot. So for example, you say you are selling hair, and then you now put a picture of somebody who bought a hair and was posing with it, and the hair was really nice. And then you now put it there and put the caption, look at this babe, she bought hair from us, she went for a party, 15 people asked for her number and all of that. This hair, she bought it from us, buy your own too. You have told the story, you're very nice, you have evoked something. But then we now go and do our research. We now see that that particular lady did not buy the hair from you. She bought it from someone else. I mean, if anything at all, you have breached trust in your business and you have reduced your chances of getting customers because you were not authentic. You told a lie. The person did not buy the thing from you. You now came and told the story to make it look like it was from you. I mean, why? There are even people that go as far as taking watermarked images. For example, another brand put an image out. They wrote their name on the image, that it is their own. Somebody else will now go and steal the picture and put it on their own page and say it is their picture. Like, fam, all of us can see that it is not your own. We can literally see that you stole this picture from somewhere else. Who are you fooling? Me, whenever I want to buy from anybody, I always like to see actual pictures, and I always check if it's true. Sometimes I follow people for 2 months, 3 months before I eventually buy from them, because I want to see their track record. I want to see if they can be trusted. I can't be losing money. I mean, I work hard for my money. I can't just be losing it like that. So authenticity is very, very important when you are selling your business. Be true, be trustworthy. Be trustworthy. Even when you are making up stories, make it up in a way that is abstract. Don't steal somebody else's own and say it is your own. Make up a story that does not exist. That is even way better. than for you to now tell a story of, you know, of somebody else when it was not actually your brand that they interacted with or that they bought something from. Also, have a clear outcome. Be very clear with what you want your business, your story to achieve at the end of the day. So, like I said, there are different aspects to storytelling, and people tell stories for different reasons. A movie maker will tell a story to entertain me. A photographer will tell a story to help me, you know, remember the past memories. A videographer will tell me stories, you know, for a different reason. But for a business, you are telling your story because you want to sell at the end of the day. You want to be memorable, you want to be visible, and you want to be and you want to sell. So your essence of storytelling is not just storytelling, you know, for the sake of it. It's also story selling. So have a clear outcome. At the end of the day, what do I want to achieve with this story? Do I want to gain more visibility? Do I want to gain more follows and likes? Do I want to gain more brand awareness? Do I want to educate my audience about what my business stands for? Or do I want them to buy from me? These things are not mutually exclusive, you know, they can all be intertwined, but have clear outcomes. Have clear outcomes with every story you tell. Don't just show up on your page and be telling stories, you know, everywhere. Today, say this one, today, say that one. Next tomorrow, say that one. And people are wondering, okay, so what are you asking, you know, from us? What do you want us to do with all this plenty grammar that you're speaking to us? Have a clear outcome. Also, be very consistent. It is very important for you to be very consistent with your stories. And when I say being consistent, be consistent with showing up. Be consistent with showing up. So don't just, you want to gain visibility, you have to be able to put in the work, and you have to be able to put in excellent work with the stories that you are telling. Don't tell shabby stories. People can see through shabby stories. People can see through lies. People can see through stories that are not well thought out. So actually put in the work. Actually put in the work and be consistent. So set up a calendar for your business. Every now and then, say maybe once in 2 days, I want to post a story on my page. Today I will do visual, tomorrow I will do IG reels, next tomorrow it will be caption, next tomorrow it will be a carousel post, all those swipe to see or swipe to view and all of that. But set up a calendar, put in the work, and, you know, actually show up and do it. Show up and do it. It's very important for you to be consistent where, you know, gaining visibility for your story is concerned. Also, it is important to involve your customers. So the kind of person I am, again, I am more sold to buy from a business when I can see track record. I can see customers who have bought from that business and, you know, who have gained something from the business by buying from it. So when I see that my friend here bought from you and our product is good, another person bought from you and our product is good, you know, you involve your customers in terms of testimonials, in form of referrals. You know, somebody gives you a referral, maybe via WhatsApp, and you post it, happy customer feedback, or if you can do a short video with your phone of, you know, somebody that maybe you make clothes, somebody wear your clothes and the person is just turning around, and then you post that picture as well. You have involved your customers. You have been able to tell the story of your business, you know, through the eyes and mouth of your customer. And then even, you know, through word of mouth, you tell somebody, please refer me and all of that. Some people, not everybody would do it. Or you tell them, please, when you wear this thing, kindly, when you post, please tag me. I mean, if you go through a lot of celebrity pages, you will see that their caption will only be one line. But the major part of the caption content will be the person that did their makeup, the person that made their clothes, where they bought their shoe, and all of that. So these are businesses that have been able to involve their customers. I mean, that's why brands go the extra mile to even look for brand ambassadors. They make the brand ambassadors look like customers who have tried their business, because they know that when people see track record, they are able to trust it, you know, better than just trusting somebody saying, come and buy from me and all. So as much as possible, involve your customers through testimonials, through referrals, and as many ways as possible. There are different styles to it. It doesn't have to be written all the time. It doesn't have to be WhatsApp messages all the time. Sometimes take pictures, sometimes take videos, sometimes audio, sometimes, you know, just switch things up. I always say that everybody is very, very creative. I always say it. You just have to be able to, you know, dig deep inside and pull that part of you out. And if you are not getting the best of your creativity now, there are always chances to learn. Go online, see how people are. I wasn't a content communications person until 2017. I studied history in school. By the time I was going to get into communications, I went in as an intern. I was a rookie. The only thing I knew how to write were notes that I used to write in my class. But today I'm writing for AGM reports, I'm writing for my CEO, I'm writing for, senior leaders and all. So these things are things that you can learn. Actually sit down, put in the work and learn, to be able to tell good stories. All right, please give me a minute. Please, just a minute. Okay, thank you very much for that. So moving to our next slide. So now that you know how and where to tell your story, I want to give you the perfect journey or perfect guide, something very practical that can help you build a story from start to finish. Sorry, my slides are hanging again. Okay, so the perfect story journey, something that can guide you towards building your story from start to finish. And it's something that I call the 5 C's. The 5 C's of, telling a very good story. So if you go online, you see that there are different people with their own different ideas of what a perfect story should look like, or how practical, how you should write a story in terms of practicalities and all. There are different ideas, different aspects to it. But the ones that I follow through with, because I have seen it work time and again, and that I use, is the 5 C's. Some other people will say it's 5 P's. Some other people say it's 4 C's. Some other people, there are just different parts to it. But this is the one I recommend because it has worked for me time and again, and I've seen it, work for people as well. So this is us being very practical. And I want you to pay attention, as much as possible to this particular place, because I believe that it is going to guide you towards telling your own stories when you eventually start trying it for your business to gain visibility. The kind of stories that hook customers, the kind of stories that, drag people in and keep them, the kind of stories that make people want to listen to you again and again and come back to do what you are asking them to do. These are the elements, or these are the things that all these stories must have. Like I said, there are different styles to storytelling, but at the core of it, at the core of the message, these 5 C's are something that we must always find in your stories. Something we must always find in your stories. So when I share it, when I share it, I'm going to share a live or practical story as well. And then I'm going to give 1 or 2 people the opportunity to also share their business story using this perfect story journey, before we go ahead. So the first C of storytelling is what I call the characters, the character or the characters. So your character is the main person or main cast in the story that you are telling. Your character is a replica of the person or set of people that you're looking to sell to. So if you want to write a story, every story that you read, there's always somebody or there's always something that is the major, highlights, the major character, the major person that you can relate with in that particular story. Sometimes you are Rukayat has a hand raised. Rukayat, please, you want to say something? Is her hand still up?
I think you can go ahead. I don't think she can hear you. I just told her how to activate her audio.
Okay, thank you very much. So your character is the major person in your story. And then moving ahead to the second C, which is conflict. So this is where you put your character in a problem or in a fix. You put your character, you position them in a way that they are in a situation that is unpleasant, like they're going through a problem or a challenge in the sense of it. So that's the conflict. And then the cure is where your business now comes in as the knight in shining armor to come and save the day. Through your business, you now present a positive solution to the conflicts that your character is facing. Like I said, I'll give you something practical as we go on, but this is just, to give the foundation of what these 5 C's they mean. So a cure, how does your business save the day? How does your business give a solution to the problem that the character is facing? How does your business, take the character out of the challenge? So you put that's the third layer. So let's assume we are building a 5-layer cake. So the first one is your character, the second one is conflict, and then the cure is your third layer. And then the change the fourth layer to your story is change. So by the time you have presented your business story as a cure, how did this cure change the problem that the character was or is in, at the beginning of the story that you were telling? What was the shift that the character experienced after interacting with your business or the solution that you presented? So now that you have given the stories or the story of a particular character, you have painted something, then the last C, which is the icing on the cake, that's what I always call it, is the call to action. The people that are reading your story, the audience that you have told this story to, what do you want them to do next with your story? What is the call to action? Do you want them to buy from you? Put it there. Do you want them to follow your page and like it? Put it there. Do you want them to tell your business, to speak about your business to their friends? Put it there. But then there must always be a call to action, because if you stop at the fourth C, the character has experienced a change, and then you leave it there, everybody will just come and say, oh, cool story, and they move on with their lives because you have not told them what next to do. Oh, very emotional, very sweet story. Nice. As in thumbs up. And that's the end. So imagine you have put in all these efforts, and then you're not able to take people from reading your story to actually doing something with it. Honestly, I call it wasted efforts in the sense of it. So the final message that should spur action from your audience is what your call to action is. So I start by painting my own story now. So this is not something that I do, but maybe something that a lot of people can relate with here. So I have a friend, her name is Yinka. Yinka is a recent graduate, from the University of Lagos. So maybe not so recent, because she graduated from the university in 2017 at the same time that I did. In this context, my character is Yinka. What's Yinka's conflict, or what's the conflict or the challenge? Since we graduated in 2017, Yinka has not found a job. She has applied time and again, to try to get a job. But every single time she applies, she always gets knocked out at the initial application stage. Speaking to Yinka recently, she told me that she has applied to over 200 jobs since we left school, and now she's very frustrated. She's tired. She feels like maybe the career space is not calling to her. But then she's a career person at heart. She wants to have a business within the corporate world. She doesn't want to start a business, and she doesn't want to just start something by the street. She really wants to work with a multinational organization. That's Yinka's challenge. And then, because Yinka and I have not spoken in 5 years, after we left school, I recently saw her again. And then I told Yinka, Yinka, so you didn't know all this while that I'm a storyteller, and I can help you write your CV, position it in a way that will get you an interview the moment any HR person reads it. I mean, she always gets knocked out at the initial application stage, which means that there's something wrong with her CV. But then there's me, who is a communications person. I am a storyteller, and I write for personal brands as well. So I can help Yinka position her CV in a way that when somebody sees it, they are very eager to have a conversation with her. So that's the cure. How do I jump in to save the day? How does what I do, how does my business present a positive solution to Yinka? So after I have helped Yinka, patronized me. I wrote her CV for her. I optimized her LinkedIn page. I was able to sit her through, courses and interactions through how she can ace interviews and all of that. And the very next interview that Yinka attended, after we had our conversation, Yinka got a job. And now she has been 1 month on that job. For somebody who has been looking for a job for close to 5 years and, has applied to over 200 jobs. Because of the solution that I presented, Yinka now has a job, and she's working with a multinational company of her choice. That point where Yinka, is working with a multinational company of her choice is the place where the story, where the change occurs. That's the fourth C. So like I said, if you stop at this fourth C, everybody will just read and be like, oh, I'm happy for Yinka. Congratulations. I mean, after all this while, after all these years, finally got a job. Nice, clap, and then they move ahead. But if you put a call to action and then you go on to say, if you are like Yinka or you are somebody who has been looking for a job and you like your CV optimized and your LinkedIn page, worded better to tell a good story so you can get a remote job that pays you $80,000 per year, reach out to me. I'm your guy. I have given a call to action. I have painted a story. My character was in a fix. She came to me, I gave her a cure, a solution, her story changed, and then I'm telling every other person out there, my target audience, who is like Yinka, that if you're like this kind of person, there is a solution for you based on what I do, and you should come and patronize me. Chances are that I will get more people, reach out to me to want to patronize my CV changing or LinkedIn optimizing business than if all I had done from the beginning was, hello, everybody. My name is Tolani. I can help you rewrite your CV and optimize your LinkedIn page. If you want to do that, contact me. I mean, you can optimize pages and blah, blah, blah. Okay, like, why should I contact you? But when I've put, all of these elements of storytelling into it, I've been able to spur something in people's minds. I have given them a visual, something that they can imagine, something that is appealing, something that relates with their emotions. So many people who are in Yinka's shoes like that will most likely want to reach out to me to do what it is that I'm asking them to do, which is why this 5 C's of telling a perfect story is very, very important. Very, very important. Always have a character. So there are different aspects to it, though. This is just an example. There are other ways that you can spin these 5 C's to work for you, but at the core of every good story, these 5 C's must always exist. So before I move on to, we are gradually wrapping up. Before I move on, I would like one person to, based on these 5 C's, character, conflict, cure, and change, somebody here to kindly tell me, a perfect story about their business. Something about the character in the conflict, the cure, how their business presents a positive solution, how that solution changes the experience of the character, and the call to action, what you want people to do after they've read your story. So I want somebody here, anybody with what you do currently, to tell me a perfect story using this story map or story journey that I have just shared. Anybody wants to volunteer?
Yeah. Hello.
All right. Thank you very much.
Right.
Who is speaking?
Yeah, this is Olaniwaju.
Okay, Olaniwaju, kindly go ahead. I'm just going to mute myself.
Okay, I just say something like this, something simple. Like, in case you want to be like Mr. and Mrs. Tolu that just finished their wedding and the drinks and cocktail were well handled at their event, and you also want to do something like that where you don't have the stress to be looking for drinks for your guests and the rest at your event, kindly contact me at my page at Shooters Bartender, or put a call through to enjoy good service as they also do. Thank you.
All right, Raju, I'm clapping for you. Why? Because you were able to, make it very simple and then take us through a journey. So like I said, stories don't always have to be complicated. Somebody like me, my own story was longer because I like to talk. But it's not all the time that, not everybody likes to talk for that long. The most important thing is if your story is consisting of all these 5 things, and then it is sparking an emotion in people, you have succeeded. It is as simple as that. You have succeeded. If you have a picture to go with it, fine. If you have videos to go with it, fine. If you have other things to go with it, it is totally perfect. But then let the core of your message consist of these things so that you are able to actually relate with people, and then you are able to hook them in to whatever you are trying to sell to them, and then they want to buy from you. So someone like Olaniwaju now, if he tells me that he sells drinks, I'll say, my mommy's friend who sells drinks. But if he says, he gives me the story of somebody who was at a wedding and they didn't even have to stress. They delivered the drinks there on that day. They brought waiters who served the drinks. The groom and bride did not even, involve themselves with the planning of the drink and, all of that. All they did was just pay Olaniwaju's business, and, the drinks showed up on that day. So if you want to be like these people too, contact me. I mean, I would rather buy from somebody like that because they have sparked an emotion in me. They have given me something to trust that if I give them a business on my wedding day too, they will take away all the stress. So they've sold the story of no stress to me. In the sense of it, they've told the story of no stress to me. The story that I told to you the first time about Yinka and getting a job and CV, I saw the story of possibilities. Somebody who tried for 5 years and then all of a sudden her story changed. So that's a story of possibilities. Sometimes you want to sell a story of luxury. Sometimes you want to sell a story of affordability, different things, but then let your message be unique and let it consist of all these things in a way that people can relate with, in a way that is very personal to people. Chances are that they will patronize you more and they will patronize somebody who just lists facts all the time. So moving on, these are brands that I believe, sorry, my slide is still, I don't know what the problem is, but these are brands that I believe, the next slide shows brands that I believe that have been able to tell their stories very well over the years. And I'm sure if you see their logos or you hear their names, you would also relate with it. Okay, so brands that tell great stories. I mean, these people have done it for me time and time again with the kind of stories that they tell. I mean, right from when I was young, some of them just, started changing their own stories, but then it relates with me in very beautiful ways that I feel like I can always patronize them because of the kind of stories that they tell, or because of the way that they position their business, or the way that they, make their business visible to me across all the touch points that, I meet them with. So for example, is Airtel. I don't know, very recently, Airtel has transformed the way that they tell their stories, both through their advertisements, the music adverts, the video adverts, the ones they tell on their pages and all of that. I mean, if you remember this 444 that was always playing, for meta is a metaphor. Anywhere you go, whatever you do, that particular song, it just resonates with me so much. Like they were trying to sell the story of their short code. If you want to do anything, just dial star 444# or something like that. But then they put it in a very beautiful way that no matter what, I don't have to cram too much numbers. So you see, they told the story with that particular song. Anywhere you day, whatever you do, you can always use this number. No need to cram plenty number. No need to put so much stress in your head by saying what's the number, what's the number. So, sort of like that. So they sold the message of simplicity to me through that particular story, and then the vehicle through which they did it again, which is a song. So like I said, there are always different ways that you can tell your stories: videos, songs, podcasts, and all of that. Just make it memorable and unique. So with that 444 is, I don't use Airtel today, but at least I know that my mommy does. If she has problems, I can dial 444 on her behalf. If I buy Airtel SIM tomorrow, I can dial 444. Why? Because they have, they have sold that story in a way that is memorable to me. Also, there are other ads, which is the one that has Yarimbo, Adedimeji Latif, and all those people, that just says that whenever your data is finishing, there are ways that you can replenish it and all of that. And that no matter your pocket size, you can always get a data that is affordable, data price that is affordable, that will fit into your pocket price. Those people have sold it. They have sold a story in that aspect as well. For me to know that, no matter how much I have, or no matter how much gig I want to buy, I'll always find something that, fits my pocket size. So these are people that have, weaved a kind of theme into their story to actually sell it and, be memorable, gain visibility. So again, look for your theme, look for the thing that makes you unique. Weave those 5 C's of storytelling into it, and then know the platforms, all the touch points through which you are going to be telling your stories. It is very, very important. That's how you can gain visibility for your business. So another brand that I think tells great stories is Procter & Gamble, and the particular products from them that I use is their Always Ultra. Since I've been young, I've been seeing adverts of Always Ultra, and up until today, for as long as I can remember in the future, I'll continue to use it. Why? Because they just sold a message of comfort and convenience to me whenever I use their product. And the good thing is the product actually delivers on those promises. So for example, I used to see their advert, somebody sleeping happily and then she wakes up, she's happy, all shiny in the morning and all of that because of using, Always Ultra. Or those girls that used to dance in school, 8, no check, no stains, 8, no check, no stains, up to 8 hours long and all of that. I heard that advert when I was in maybe primary school or something, but I still remember it till today. It still resonates with me. Why? Because it told a story of convenience, of ease whenever I use their product. So your product should also tell a story. What kind of story are you trying to sell? Like I said, Olanrewaju sold the story of no stress when he told the story of drinks for weddings. Me, I told the story of possibilities when I told the story of Yinka, my friend. So what is your major theme when you are telling your story? Coca-Cola, with their new campaign of Coca-Cola Share Happiness, I mean, you just see people around sitting down, drinking Coke, with friends and family, cheering around the world. So some people are raising Coke here in Nigeria. Some people are raising Coke in the abroad, different places like that. Share happiness. They've been able to tell a story, that just says wherever you are with a bottle of Coke, you can share happiness. And they even, made it go very viral when they did that their adverts of, that their campaign that you buy a Coke bottle and you see your name on it, as a way to just share happiness. So you say, buy a Coke for Ayo, buy a Coke for Mfon, buy a Coke for Mabel and all of that. So they just took a theme of happiness and sharing joy, love, care, and they weaved it into their story. And so many people bought Coke those days and like, Kai, just even me that used to drink Coke, I was looking for my name up and down to just buy it and all. So these are ways to tell stories. Even if you don't have all the money in the world, like all these brands, with what you have, with where you are, there are ways that you can start, to tell your stories, and then you can just kill from them. And then for Glow on their own story is just about plenty data. When you hear Glow like this, is yafun yafun. Those are the kind of words they even use, yafun yafun, brekete, awoof, those kind of things. So they're always telling the story of, if you buy Glow like this, they'll use data to finish your life. So some people are buying into those kind of things. People that do data intensive things, they buy into those kind of things. Why? Because they are sold on the stories that, Glow has been able to tell them in terms of, your data being more than enough for you every time that you want it. So I put your brand here. So I put a question mark. So will I one day, maybe the next time I'm presenting this slide in another 6 months, 1 year, will your brand be telling great stories that I'll be confident enough to put it here as one of the logos of brands that tell great stories? Like I said, you don't have to have all the money in the world now. You don't have to have everything now, but with where you are. I mean, there are so many pages on Instagram that I follow. I didn't know them, so I started following them on Instagram. But the way their stories are told, as in, I always go back to go and look for them just to read their stories. There's this brand Up in the Sky. It is a marketing agency. I don't have anything that I want to do with marketing now, but because of the way that they just tell very nice stuff, sometimes it's not very long ago, something funny, something nice, something beautiful, I always go to their page. Like at the end of the day, I'll just go to their page. Hey, what's their new content? Let me read and all. I feel like tomorrow, if I have something that has to do with an agency, they will be the ones I'll contact first. Why? Because I've related with their story. I've seen their track record. I've seen what they can do. And I've been sold on their story time and again, because they keep telling beautiful stories. So in another 6 months to 1 year, how would you have, improved on your stories? Would you have thought of a theme that your stories would tell all the time? Would you be including all these 5 C's? And would you be telling stories with every single touch point of your brand, of your product, of the places that customers just interact with you, every day? So again, I'm going to leave you with this quote. Storytelling is the best marketing. It is the best way to market yourself, your personal brand, or your product, whatever it is, whether you like it or not. Storytelling, it works. I have seen it work, and I'm sure that when you try it, for the people that are going to go back after today to research, to learn more, and to put these things into action, you will find that storytelling actually works. It's a game changer. That's why people will pump billions of dollars into telling stories and adverts, because they know it works. If you go on Google now and you see how much Coca-Cola spends per year on their ads alone, I mean, it will blow your mind, because they have seen that storytelling works. But thank God for places like Instagram that you can open an account for free if you have data and you have a page and you have the zeal to tell stories and to actually put in the work. You don't have to have the billions of dollars that Coca-Cola has. You will tell your stories and people will buy from you, and then from there you start to scale. So storytelling is good for your business. I mean, with everything that I have said today, I hope you find that storytelling is good for your business. It helps you scale. It helps people, get to see you more. Visibility helps you to be remembered, helps you to put whatever it is that you do out there in a way that relates with people, in a way that is personal to the things people are going through, so that they want to buy from you, they want to relate with you, they want to come back again and again, and they want to bring their family and friends along. So with that, we have come to the end of our session today. Like I said, it's not exhaustive. So the work is still in your hands for you to go and keep learning and learning. But I will stop here today so that we can, take questions and answers. If anybody has any questions for me, I'll be very happy to take it here. Anybody has any questions for me? So somebody said, can we have the slides? I think I'll leave Mfon to answer that. Any other kind of questions?
Hi, Tolani. So there were a couple of questions up. I don't know if I should read it to you, or do you want to read it yourself?
You can please read it, please. Thank you very much.
Okay. Or if those that ask the questions are willing to come off mute, that would be awesome.
That's fine. Yes,
well.
that's fine. I don't mind.
So Godwin was asking, for instance, I work with a company that specializes on software programming, networking, inverter installation, CCTV installation, web design, and solar installation. What we have is a social media page, and we are good to go without a store. My question is, how do we sell ourselves to those customers who are not social media oriented? That's from Godwin.
All right, thank you very much for that question, Godwin. So for people who are not on social media, if you want to reach people who are not on social media, you have to go the traditional route. I call it the traditional route because everybody calls digital the trending routes now. So you have to be able to go the traditional route. And I don't know if sometimes if you have walked on the road before, and then you saw all these people on the road that print very small papers, and then they put CCTV, blah, 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 web design, all of that on the paper, and they just share to people, on the road. That's one thing that you can explore. It will cost you, depending on the printing house you use and all of that. But what will make your own printed paper stand out from every other person's own is how well it is designed and what kind of story that you are able to tell on that piece of paper. So if you have a very small square sized paper and then you tell something very beautiful with it and you design it well, chances are that it will be more memorable than somebody who is just sharing random papers on the road. So that's one way for people who are not, to reach people who are not social media oriented. Another way, of course, if you are doing this kind of business, chances are that your organization does, marketing, maybe food marketing to different companies and all. So it might be nice for you people to do a training with your food marketers on how best to market people when they go on these marketing trips or journeys. So I know a lot of organizations, mine inclusive, that when we have marketers like that, we give them templates to follow. So when you are marketing to people, these are the things that you say. These are the stories that you tell. These are the way that you word your content when you are speaking to them that will make them want to take your number or want to buy from you again. So that's another way when marketing to people, physically, maybe from office to office or store to store or wherever it is. And you are talking to people who are not social media oriented. It is very important that you have that kind of scripts, that kind of training done for your marketer so that they're able to tell very good stories. Another way is calls or text messages. So if you are speaking to people who are not social media savvy, there are other ways that they can be reached. everybody or almost everybody who is grown should have a phone that can take a call or that can take text messages. So a lot of organizations do cold calls to me these days, a lot. Spectranet will call me today. Tomorrow is Bose that is calling me. Next tomorrow is somebody else. In fact, my messages now, my SMS these days is full of SMSs from Domino's, Cold Stone, different brands like that. Why? Because they feel like maybe if I'm not on social media all the time, they can catch me in another way. And then they tell, with those 140 characters of an SMS, some of them have told really nice stories that after I finish reading it, I just pick my phone and I order for a pizza, a box of pizza or Cold Stone, and they get it delivered to me for free or something like that. So those kind of things are things that you can explore as well. Social media is very good. It gets you in front of so many people, but that's not the only way. There are other ways as well. So you might want to print out stuff. You want to train your foot soldiers. You want to get people through calls. You want to get people through SMSs and all of that, as much as you put effort into your social media as well. The main point or purpose is just that whatever way that you are meeting people, have a good story that you tell them that, you know, just hooks them, that makes them want to buy from you time and again. All right, so to the next question, please.
All right, thank you very much, Tolani, for that. So the other question came from Jessica. She wants to know how about those that deal with different drinks and want more customers, and most of the customers are offline.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Okay, so she's asking, how about those that deal with different drinks and want more customers, and most of the customers are offline? How do one go about it? So I'm guessing that relates to what you just explained.
Exactly. So there are always other ways for you to find your customers. For people that deal with drinks, if you deliver drinks to parties, maybe at every party, on the table beside the menu card, you to print small cards that tell very interesting stuff, and then put it beside the menu card, or put it under people's plates, or put it under the cup, that when they lift their drink, they see it. I've gone to parties like that, and I've seen those kind of things. You know, they just put their material somewhere. Some people is on the body of drinks, but maybe that can be far-fetched. Some they put it on the body of the tray, on the body of something. Just put it somewhere that other people can, you know, always see, and you, with your contact details, most importantly. So if they liked your service at the party and they are offline, they can always call. I mean, my mom still has many business cards that she picked from parties, and she met people maybe during an event and she liked their service and she just got their business cards and she patronizes them, you know, time and again. And then if you do carry bags as well for your business, so if you are selling drinks and maybe you have nylons, printed nylons and all, put your contact details, put the name of your business, put a very nice tagline that tells a story. You don't know where that nylon can reach. You don't know who will just pick up that nylon one day and just see it and be, you know, interested in buying from you. So those are the things that can relate to your business as well, Jessica.
All right, thank you very much, Tolani. So I see that Patrick has his hand up. I don't know if he has a question.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Patrick.
Yeah, my question is this. I and my friend, we are into cleaning services. We clean offices, church, house, education places. And for a year now, we have been into this. So let me just say, for a year now, we've done the kind of marketing or advert we've known by setting out flyers and giving announcements in some few places. But we don't seem to get clients. So how do we promote the business?
So, Patrick, have you tried going online? So I think that maybe you are limiting your business. Okay, I'm listening.
We have not opened a page on it, but we only do it on our own Facebook page and most time WhatsApp status.
So sometimes it's nice for you to have, a lot of times actually, it's nice for you to have a dedicated page for your business that is just all about telling your business stories. Sometimes you promote that page, you promote posts from that page, you refer people to that page. Like I said, people like to see. So if you're announcing at a party, I'm just hearing words from you. But if I go to your page, like after you announce And then there is a place that I can go to see a track record of the works that you have done. I see pictures, I see testimonials, I see referrals from people. I am more inclined to want to patronize you, after I see that kind of thing. That's why a lot of organizations, even for individuals, when they ask you to come and maybe be a designer for them or a photographer or anything, they will ask you for your portfolio. Why? They want to see. So they've listened to you at the interview, they've listened to your announcements, you've told them you can do the job, but then you should back it up with something else. So this time you want to explore online opportunities as well. I mean, they are very vast. The opportunities for you to leverage when you decide to take your business online, they are very, very vast, trust me. So of course, you have to be able to know the kind of content, how to program your content and all of that to gain the kind of audiences that you want. But at least start from creating that page, putting one or two things, something nice.
Once I just not tell me sorry to making me very angry. Once I just on my hotspot.
So Patrick, I hope I answered your question.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Patrick, for that. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, I see that Yinka's hand is up, and then we also have Larry. So Yinka, you could come off mute and then ask your question.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so my question goes this way. I'm an event planner.
Sorry, your voice.
I know I'm bringing up. Hello?
Yinka.
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, it's better now.
Okay. So I'm an event planner. Yeah, and I know I'm very good at it. But then apart from when I do a job and I get a reparative job, I really give
Okay, your background is noisy. I'm struggling to hear you. The last thing I heard was you're an event planner and you do it very well. You're very good at it. That was the last thing that I heard.
I think Yinka is in a noisy place. Larry, can you go on with your question, please?
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Mine is not just like a question, just like adding up to what she has been saying since morning, like it's a good jobs. And just to put my own point on what has been working for me, maybe it can also help others. Because I do cocktails and do drink services in events and like house party. Nigeria, almost everyone celebrates one thing or the other during the weekends. So I try doing my own in a way that is somehow different because I like to talk much somehow. So anytime I see any person's new, I feel like talking, they just talk. So by the time we're talking together, I will hint our business because almost everybody's doing one business or the other. Or we'll have someone that will link you up with your business or to your business because it's not actually helped me. I was in the bus one day and I just met a lady. I don't know like who she was and the rest. So we later talk, exchange number. Next 2 days, she called me like, she have not seen my job, but she know the way I talk. I could do so thing. So okay, eventually she asked me, what's your IG page? I showed them. She went through, you like, wow, you work with this brand, you work with this brand, so you are good. So sometimes that thing really helped me. And I don't know if some other people, first of all, if you can sell yourself first before like meeting people outside, sell it to yourself. Okay, if I tell myself this thing, will I be confused enough before telling outsiders? So because people are different than the rest. That's just my own viewpoint to add to everything she has said in the morning. And thank you for the good job.
Thank you very much for that. I mean, very spot on, very apt. Sell to yourself. I mean, you are your first user, you are your first customer, you are your first client, you are your first critic, you are your first, you are your first everything. So sell to yourself first. That's why I said it's very important for you to have an elevator pitch even for your business. So in 30 seconds, can I tell myself what I do in line with these 5 C's? And after I listen to myself, will I buy from myself? So if you are convinced that you can buy from yourself based on that, then you are very free to go ahead and then start selling to other people. So thank you very much for that contribution.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Tolani. We'll have to wrap up now. I've learned a lot. I mean, I'm also into business myself, and I know that trying to create content can really be stressful and strenuous, but at least I've received some sort of motivation from you today to still keep on thriving. I'd like to ask, does anyone want to show appreciation to Tolani in our wave style? So you could just come off mute and then let us know something that you've learned.
We show that this FRS is somebody can help us.
Does anyone want to do that? I just need one person. And then yes, Tolani, some people were asking for book recommendations. So maybe you could send it to me and then we'll forward it to them.
All right, that's
All
fine.
right.
Happy
Thank
to.
you. Thank you. All right. So I would say thank you very much to everyone. I see that nobody has come off mute.
Joy's hand is up. Joy, do you want to go?
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, my name is Agbola Olusegun, and I want to thank Tolani and the Wave team for bringing up this program and this seminar for us today. I actually here taking notes of everything, and actually
recording in progress.
appreciated the perfect story journey you gave to us. It's just like what we learn in copywriting and how to get to grab attention of our potential customers to bring them in. And it's so relatable because of the story aspect of it and what you shared in your story. And I also intend to implement this in my business going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate, and I really look forward to your success. Every single person here, the success of your business. I want to open IG one day and read a story and be like, this story is coming from somebody who has been a part of this class. I mean, it will give me joy. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you once again, Wave. I mean, I had joy sharing with the class as well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Tolani, for always picking up whenever we reach out to you. Really means a lot. So yes, I'll just send you a text message, follow-up conversation, just so that for every other person that had questions, you could just get it from you and then share with them. But thank you very much, Tolani. I believe you can leave. Thank you very much, everyone. For those of us that have shared our numbers, would expect. Okay, for those of us, apologies, my device went dead. So for those of us who shared our numbers, would expect something. Tolani, thank you very much once again for doing this for us. We really appreciate. Thank you very much. You can enjoy the rest of your day.
If I kindly end the meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Shadrach, if you can hear me, please, I didn't get your network provider. So if you could quickly send in that would be great.
Fine, we
Okay,
can get that
awesome.
over the phone. Can you end? Yeah, just end the call for everyone.
I'll have to reach out to Kingsley as he's the host. I do no longer have the rights. So. And meeting is still recorded.
Oh, Wave is back to being the host. Did you go off? Fine, is your Wave device still on?
No, I'll just do something. Don't worry.
But Wave is back to being the host, so you have to be the
No,
one to
that's
end it.
Kingsley. That's Kingsley.
Okay.